Hello everyone, my name is Jough at KOIMA Korea Importers Association. I'm in charge of international relations. Today I'd like to deliver a message introducing Korea's market, your market entry. I'd like to deliver a brief message that could help your market entry to Korea. If I start from here, I'd like to cover the whole market condition, first of all. However, I'd like to introduce the Korean consumers' sentiment starting from their consumer survey index, where this index indicates that their indication for future increase or decrease for their income. Where if you see that this is reported by the Bank of Korea last September this year, if I see that number starting from the January, and it shows a little bit of a decrease in the middle of February and June, which you probably noticed that we had a very big outbreak from COVID-19 pandemic, started from February in Korea. So the index shows that it was above 100 points in the month of January. However, it decreased down to 97 in February, and after that we had a big drop for the 4 or 5 months in consecutive period, which shows that lowest point was showing 83 index, which means that number of people who expected their income to decrease for the future. However, it was decreased 17.8% started from January. However, it rebounded again, about 10% differences after the pandemic was kind of in a control condition by the Korean government. Next slide would like to indicate their consumption expectations by the consumers, which shows that of course it was started decreasing in the month of February. It indicated 106. However, it dropped down to 87, which means that we had a big outbreak started from February, and a lot of consumers were kind of cautious about their spending in the future. So it shows sharp decrease first 3 months, 20.9%. However, it rebounded about 13.8%, which means that they are expecting their consumption to increase a little bit more after the pandemic was under control. This page I'd like to indicate that their trend of spending by the Korean consumers. This page shows that their credit card balances used by the Korean consumers. This is the number of settlement amount, where if you see that the amount was decreased in the month of February, which shows 47.09. This is the amount of their spending. However, it increased a little bit after the month end again. However, the number was high peaked in the month of May, which is the period that public emergency aid fund was proposed by the Korean government to all nationals, to all Korean nationals. This caused about a little bit of a rebound in their consumption. So we see that number increased in the month of May. It was showing 59.53 billion Korean won, which is compared to the previous year, 2019. The red indicates the number in 2019. However, it was increased about 10% compared to the previous year. Starting from this page, I'd like to take a look at what had been happened in Korean society. Starting from month of January, we had this is numbers, how many confirmed cases from the COVID-19 in Korea. Where number 11 shows for the month of January, we had national confirmed cases was marked as number 11. However, in the month of February, it increased up to 3,000 something people was confirmed cases. That number is accumulated number for the month. And we see rising increase in the month of March, which marked about 6,636 people were confirmed cases from the COVID-19. And after that, we have a calm down ratio in the month of March, April, May, June, July. However, we had a big increase in the month of August, where if you can see that, started from February, we had a big rise. However, we had a little bit of stabilized conditions in the months of April and May. In the month of May, we had the Korean government was providing emergency public aid to all Korean nations, which is about valued about $1,000 for each households. So we saw that the changes started from the month of May. However, we experienced a big increase in the month of August again. And now we have in the month of October up to yesterday, accumulated monthly confirmed case was posting 2,699. This is for the whole nationwide confirmed cases. We have started from the January up to here, we have all confirmed cases was numbered at 27,553 people were confirmed by the COVID-19 as of yesterday. And we have death casualty numbers at 480 up to here. Well, that was the reference page that we will have to take a look. Because everything will show you differences starting from month of February and starting from month of May. This is a consumption pattern. I will probably go over with other kind of things, other kind of sectors. However, I'd like to take a look at their consumption on the durable goods first of all. Where this is the number of amount they spent. This is in trillion Korean won, which is about billion US dollars. We see that big differences started from February. However, we experienced a big increase up to the month of May. So where this one was highly relevant to the COVID-19 outbreak. We experienced the 18% increase for the 3 months period after February. If I can take a look at the sector durable goods, we will go for semi-durable goods and non-durable goods. I'd like to take a look at their spending trend. We will have to be used to this trend because what kind of market will be opened to the suppliers. As you can see that there is not much of differences. However, started from March, April, May, we had a big spending on the electronic products and vehicles automobiles, where people were not going out for shopping, so they are going after they're buying their automobiles at home for home use. We have a semi-durable goods spending. This is not big differences by the sectors. However, we are not spending that much for the apparel and shoes and bags. However, we have a big spending on the entertainment and hobbies, where they are more likely staying at home. If I can take a look at non-durable goods, this one shows not big changes. Where if you can see that cosmetics shows not big changes. Food and beverages, F&B, not big changes. Well, this is because it is non-durable goods. If I can profile the consumer's taste, as I mentioned, that we have a big demand rising on the high premium food. And we do have a high diversity, which is showing on the consumption, where everyone moved to the Iberia pork, shifted from the local pork, and we have another demand on coconut milk, shifted from normal milk, and we do have a gluten-free, and we do have other demand on the specialty beer, which is IPA. These are the examples which I'd like to talk about. Very famous brand, Starbucks, US Starbucks. These are the countries where they have their number of stores. Well, of course, they have a high number of stores opened in the United States. It shows 6,354 stores opened in the United States. And the second one is South Korea, where they do have very good insight, I believe. We do have more potential for the consumption. So 1,400 shops were opened as of last year in South Korea, and Mexico, and UK, and Turkey, and Taiwan. So these are the numbers that we'd like to take a look at what Korean consumers are looking at. This is their performances. Where this is I had a scan copy from their business performance, where Starbucks Korea, they opened the first store in the year of 1999, where they had opened the first store in 1999, and their revenue was recorded 168 million US dollars. This is according to their report. And however, last year, year of 2018, their revenue was posted in $1.25 billion US dollars, where these are their performance in Korea, where they showed their revenue increased about 7-something times over the last 10 years. So these are the consumers market in Korea, where this is the process. If you'd like to export your products to Korea, our importers should go through with all these kind of processes, where this is kind of different from each sector. But generally speaking, we do have about 18 processes to go on. Well, so I'd like to indicate that how you will have to enter the market here. You will have to take consumption changes out of COVID-19. Well, second, you will probably go ahead and make your demand introducing your finished products. And very good to try HMR, which I just mentioned previously. And so test the consumer's taste first, and Korean wholesaler will follow. Where you will have to take advantage benefits by the wholesalers. And however, before the wholesalers, we do have another supplier. I mean, supplier is Korean supplier to Korean wholesalers. So go ahead and do your marketing with the Korean suppliers too. I mean, Korean, the main importers too. These are the examples that from Europe. Pizza was introduced in Korea in 1985. And another food, very famous food, pho, from Vietnam was introduced in Korean market in 1998. Well, so your supply will make a market here. This is the major products what we are importing and exporting to the world market and from the world market. Where out of these 10 products, this is the data from provided by MOTIE, which is Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy of Korea, in the year of 2018. Well, I believe there is not big differences. However, these 10 items we are importing covers about 48% of Korea's total aggregate import. Very major products. These are the countries where we are exporting to and where we are exporting from. This is numbered from were based on the Korea's import here. So we import number 1 China, number 2 US, number 3 Japan, and so on. These are the changes that we showed the last 10 years. Where 2010 we had exported 466 billion US dollars, and we imported 425 billion US dollars. However, in the year of 2019, we had 542 billion US dollars and 503 billion US dollars import. So which shows the about 17-18% changes from the last 10 years. This one shows that what we are exporting and what we are importing was how much they are contributing to Korean GDP. Where you can see that in the year of 2011, we exported 555 billion US dollars and 524 billion US dollars, which were contributing to about 89% to Korean GDP. And it decreased about 64%, which means that we have more demand from local consumption. This page shows that how many FTA networks we have with the world market. Started from, I believe, in 2004, we had opened our FTA negotiation with Chile. And recently, we opened the discussion with the Central America countries, 5 nations in the Middle Central America countries. So this one shows 52 countries coverage and 73% coverage in their GDP. So this is based on the year of 2018. We have an event every year, which is called the Import Goods Fair. This year, 2020, we postponed it for online hybrid type of exhibition out of COVID-19 outbreak, where you could join us with this kind of exhibition in Korea. And also, this is the last page. At KOIMA, we have at our homepage, we have database connections. If you go in and register with us, you can look for your importers related to your products and sectors, with your regions and countries. Thank you very much.